Whoops.
Is it a whoops? I don't think it's a whoops.
It's a whoops.
I think it's a meh.
My lack of professionalism at the start here. It was a whoops because I forgot how to do it, how to get us both on the screen.
Oh, right, okay.
My whoops was definitely not reserved for Arsenal. We can't publish what my my feelings are necessarily. Well, we can and we will, but I'll water them down somewhat. So that was an interesting season.
I'd like to talk about cognitive dissonance, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, cognitive dissonance is the idea that our brains are not necessarily designed to hold two conflicting points of view, except we do it all the time without thinking because, you know, we're evolved sentient beings. And I know how every Arsenal fan will be feeling because I'm feeling exactly the same. And where the anger might come from in all this is, on the one hand, last two performances were absolute garbage. We didn't look like we had a plan. We didn't have anyone in reserve that we could really call upon. There were some pretty, you know, borderline gutless sort of actions in one or two of those games, and we've handed, you know, the power over to the scum down the road, and that's going to leave a really bitter taste in the mouth. And, you know, there's almost every right to be annoyed at the club for going for a rookie manager, trying to do things, you know, on the cheap, and you know, feeling completely and utterly let down. Yet the amount of stuff I've been surprised with some of the messages flying around on my WhatsApp at the minute, with the amount of people who are going, well, actually, and we've been talking about it for weeks about rationality, the rationality of the brain. I'm amazed at how many people are going, well, actually, you know, 3 games gone, no goals, no points. Who saw a run for the top 4 coming? Secondly, it is a very young team and therefore is prone to, you know, plateaus of performance. And, you know, the fact that we've probably lost more players than we've gained means that actually when you look at the squad as it is today, like the starting 11 and the players that featured off the bench today, it's not a Champions League team. It's not a Champions League team. A forward line of Nketiah and Lacazette, for all Nketiah's effort in making runs and feeding off the tiniest of scraps, not a Champions League forward line. And then when you look at the back, all right, Tomiyasu goes off injured, but we've been forced into playing all 3 of those players, you know, basically injured. But Tavares, Cedric Suarez, you know, a midfield of Granit Xhaka and El Neni, it's not really a Champions League team. So actually, we've probably been punching a little bit, but because it's been in our hands and now it's slipped from our fingers, it will feel awful. And what's really going to annoy me about it is if there's a lot of anger and bitterness at the home game against Everton.
I don't think there will.
Well, I've been surprised by how many people agree with you who have messaged me, because I'm saying, I'm dreading going to Everton. I want Everton. I want the end of the season to be a nice thing, but I feel like the disappointment will really linger with people because that carrot has been dangled so closely for so long.
It's the hope that kills you.
It is exactly the hope that kills you, and I don't want that hope to lead to, you know.
I can't remember the other part to this fact, but to kind of put your cognitive dissonance into a football statement, if you like. Arsenal have won more games than Chelsea this season and lost more than Brighton. I'm not sure is it Brighton the second part of that, but it's you know, we've won the third.
It's telling.
Yeah, so it's and that's where we are. That's
when we're
on the
good,
one hand,
good, but when it goes against us, that I don't know if what we need to dig in. I mean, that stat that came up, I messaged you with about half an hour to go because Sky Sports brought that stat up. When we go behind in away games, that's it. It's game over. It's a defeat.
And apart from Wolves,
that was at home.
Oh, was it? Well, we drew away. We drew away with 10 men.
Oh, unless we conceded first, because obviously it was the conceded first part. So I might have got that mixed up, but yeah.
Yeah, look, it's because we're such a young team that we. I mean, you to add to your list of we played central midfield with Xhaka and El Neni. It's not a Champions League midfield, is it?
Well, we have played with that in the Champions League, but that's not the
point. And done really well.
Well, really well is probably pushing it a little bit. Also, to have done that 6-7 years ago, and to still be doing it. I mean, isn't that Einstein's famous quote about madness? You know,
stupidity. Like it's yeah. I'm like I have the two of us. I have been the first to rationalise, probably because I know that you won't necessarily, and I feel like I have to, just for balance.
Please do not rationalise on my account. I want that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, don't rational. Yeah, it's because it was dangled that it feels so disappointing, and it's because it's them that it feels so disappointing as well. You know, 2 games ago we were 1 win away from securing top 4. Now, I can pay. I can't believe I'm about to offer this as some kind of ointment on a gaping wound. There are 2 scenarios by which we can still qualify for the Champions League.
I'm going to close my laptop if you're going to talk about the bloody ways we might qualify, because I've already got my best friend for my sins is a Tottenham fan, and he's already messaging me going, "Mate, we're Spurs. We could still lose to Norwich," and I'm just like, "Shut up!" But
they could. That is one way.
They could. I know they could.
It means now the goal difference and their point at Anfield actually means that that Norwich will have to beat them. A draw is no good for us unless we score like 10 goals against Everton.
Yeah. Norwich, just no.
But this would be a typically Spursy thing to do.
I don't think but it wouldn't be a Conte thing to do.
Well, I don't know. They've lost games this season. They lost 1-0 at Burnley and Conte was leaving. You know, they have but this is the other way. Have you not heard the news today about the other potential way we could get into the Champions League?
Oh, it's going to be fucking fair play or something.
No, it's Chelsea. Abramovich, they've got till the end of this month as a deadline, and Abramovich is prepared. The rumours are, and it's come from lots of different sources, like the BBC as well. So there is something in it. And a journalist called Matt Law, who covers Chelsea, and I've been following him for years, and I think he's pretty level-headed, and so on. And it's the MPs aren't happy that Abramovich isn't allowing the money to go to the charities that they insist it will go to, and so he's prepared to let the club go into bankruptcy, become insolvent. If that were to happen, and I don't think it will, I'm sure something will come up. But if that were to happen, UEFA will have to replace Chelsea, most likely with the 5th place team from the Premier League. Now, come on. It would be typically Spursy for them to lose to Norwich and us to win against Everton and qualify. But how much better would it be if they crow over us for a number of days, weeks, whatever, about missing out on the Champions League, only for us, jammy as hell, to be granted or gifted a Champions League place because of Chelsea? I mean, I can get on board with that.
What I want to know is, why do you do this to yourself? Why do you draw it out and punish yourself so
because
much?
It lessens the pain now.
Just accept it.
No, see, I much prefer the shallower cut that lasts longer, that takes longer to heal, than the deep wounds now that you get over quicker. I don't know. That doesn't even make sense. But
I mean, I'm going to say something. You were raised Catholic, right?
I was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this it? Is it the punishment? Is it the guilt that you have to sort of carry around? Is it something in that?
I don't think the world and their mother is prepared for a conversation with me and Catholic guilt. I think we're ready for that yet.
Well, anyway.
So,
well, look, I mean, while that's a technicality that may come to pass, we know it probably won't.
No, it probably won't.
So we just have to accept.
I genuinely can see Spurs lose against Norwich. I genuinely can.
Yeah, but then, all right, then.
Yes.
Do we get anything against Everton?
I hadn't finished that. Yeah, that was. Although I now would love to be the team that sends Everton down, and that's no disrespect to my Evertonian mates, but I just do not like Frank Lampard, and I don't like the media frenzy surrounding him. And I think it would be lovely to send him down.
I love Everton as a club. I like it as an away trip. It's quite far for us, obviously, but that's not a big deal. It's an old-fashioned ground. They're a good club, good team, easy to like. However, the way they acted about the appointment of Lampard, because, they'd hounded out Benitez. All right, I get that. He's an ex-Liverpool manager and all those sorts of things. But then when they'd finally got rid of him and they were looking to appoint this Portuguese guy, like the sort of nationalistic
there was
rubbish about we don't want them, we want Lampard, blah blah thing. That alone makes me think, actually, if you go down, you've
I don't know who are they. They're playing someone on Thursday. I don't know who they're playing.
Palace.
And Palace. Where's that? Away?
I couldn't tell you. No, I think it's at home because that'll be their last home game and we're their last away game. Or their last game.
Right. If that was away, I think they could come a cropper in that. But if it's at home, I don't know. Brentford beat them. They've had 2 players sent off. So
it's ridiculous. I mean, I didn't watch all of that game, but I turned it on and saw the last sort of part. I mean, Rondon's challenge was just insane.
I haven't watched any of it. Were they 2 straight red cards?
I didn't see the first one. I missed the first one. But the second one, I mean, Rondon, I mean, it was so easy, a red card. It was unbelievable. And you just think he was brought on as a substitute as well, throwing men forward. And just, I mean, the way he leapt into the challenge was horrific. It was just like the last thing that Everton needed. And, Brentford were already winning by that point, but it just made an impossible job.
Yeah, and the Leeds, that last minute equaliser for Leeds, like really, has dropped Burnley into the bottom 3.
I feel like this season, where you look at every part of the division, whether it's the relegation battle, whether it's the battle for European places, or even the battle for the title to a certain extent, it's more about teams losing their shit and, really fading and not turning up when it counts.
Yeah.
Look at Leeds and Everton in these last few games. Look at us in these last few games. And even to a point, Man City against West Ham, all right, they're all over them, but Mahrez misses a penalty to win it. And I think the season will be defined by what teams didn't do rather than what they did do, which is bizarre. But I don't know.
Yeah, so so I don't know what has to happen on Thursday for us to be able to send Everton down, and I don't know who's playing on Sunday. I don't know who Leeds and Burnley have on Sunday either, and I can think about that when we're in the grounds. But I think not one pundit, not one journalist, not one Arsenal fan predicted us for a top 4.
Yeah.
I tell you what, every single one of us and them would have. Some people were saying we weren't getting top 6, us included. I as recently as post the 3 defeats to Southampton, Palace, and Brighton, was saying we will struggle to get top 6 now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pulled out wins at Chelsea, home to United, and away to West Ham. Now, the thing I've seen written on Twitter tonight is, that's when the pressure was off. When the pressure was on, we capitulated. Now, I don't think an away game at Chelsea I suppose an away game at Chelsea aside, but we should be fancying ourselves home to United and away to West Ham. And off the back of a Chelsea away win, then the pressure is back on. Because
I think what they're hinting at is, and I've talked about it with people. One person who was even at the game tonight about mentality. So, for example, this guy who was at the game was kind of, angered by what he'd seen, and referenced the fact that it was against a Newcastle team whose bags are packed for their summer holidays. And I had to question that and say, but the problem is pressure works in different ways. Newcastle, yes, technically they have nothing to play for apart from league position, maybe. However, sometimes when there isn't that added pressure of we need to qualify for this, or we need to beat them, or win a cup, or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes people do their best work when they're relaxed.
Yeah.
And second of all, those players, Newcastle are at the start of what is going to be a weird journey.
They'll see us as a rival next season.
Yes, exactly.
And they'll want to put down a marker against us tonight.
Exactly. They've won loads of games at home in a row, apart from against Man City, Liverpool, or whatever it was. They've got their fans are absolutely buoyant again and united and, together and loud and noisy and how they used to be. And those players, they want to be there for that journey. They don't want to be replaced by another 30, 40 million pound player and sent off to some, moneyed Russian side or playing Qatar or whatever. They want to be at Newcastle for that journey. So they've got motivation. It's just different to our motivation. And similarly, our motivation, it feels like life or death. Champions League or bust. People, and the Europa League does complicate things. It's not ideal. We know that. Thursdays, Sundays, players don't necessarily want to, if they can get to a Champions League team, they want to be there. So for our young team, remember, it's such a fine line. Win that game against Tottenham on Thursday and you're in the Champions League. Well, it's no wonder they were a bit, cowed by it and a bit, frozen by it. I don't know if they were frozen. I don't know, because actually, we started quite pressing high against Tottenham. Today was flat. Today felt really flat and jaded from the start. I feel like the defence was patched up and just, we lacked any real intensity. But Newcastle pressed and pressed and pressed us.
Yeah, but we had no control. We never had any control today. It was, you were looking at people like Smith Rowe and Ødegaard. Now, Ødegaard did okay in the first half. He's about the only one. He did link it up a while, but Xhaka and Elneny couldn't get hold of the ball and
get a foot on the ball,
and hold on to it. I just wanted to jump in there when you said about pressure and it can work. Like a team can relax and express themselves with a lot more freedom. And I just wanted to say one thing to that: Norwich City.
Oh dear. Yeah, the problem
it works.
No, the problem is when Arsenal relax, we've got top quality international players like Saka and like Ødegaard and a few others. When Norwich City relax, they don't.
But Spurs, and I'm going to say this, and I realise the kind of the irony, Spurs are crap. They've got
Kane and Son.
They've got two, they've got two world-class attackers. And that's it. But they don't create anything.
I agree.
They played 2 games against Brentford and Brighton and didn't have a shot on target as recently as 3 games and 4 games ago. Yeah. They got so lucky against Burnley at the weekend. Never a penalty in a month of Sundays. It was a ridiculous decision. And that game would have ended 0-0 otherwise. Now, unfortunately for us now, 0-0 against Norwich is no good because their goal difference is so superior. So Norwich are going to have to score. And what Spurs have got is that tight defence. There's no question about that. But they are such a damn...
The dog always seems to time it for when we're talking that he wants to go out, so I'll be 2 seconds.
Well, and I know he can't hear me when he's out. I was going to say relieving the dog, but that's not probably accurate. So what else was I going to say? I've written
Stupid
some
dog.
notes. Oh, he's
Sorry.
back. Oh, right. I think that's just a natural reaction from the animal kingdom to us talking about Arsenal. Yeah, he just wants
Can't
out.
deal with my misery.
I'd rather be out in the cold, weeing.
It's not cold. I am boiling.
Yeah. No, it's not cold. It's not cold. So I've made some notes, right? Just like off Twitter.
Okay.
This is a whole in no particular order. Thin squad. January was a big mistake. Medical department needs an absolute scene to once again. Playing one game a week all season or thereabouts. How can we have so many muscle injuries? And it's an interesting point about because it seems to be something that hampers us or follows us around quite a lot. But Liverpool, where are all Liverpool's hamstring injuries? The amount of high intensity. Oh, I listened to something about Liverpool that can I say this? I don't know if this is true. Obviously, this is complete hearsay. So allegedly, did I talk about Liverpool and asthma last week? Right.
No.
Now I think my percentages will be a little bit off here because my total recall is not great. The national average in this country is like something like 11 to 13% of the population have asthma and have the pumps.
Yeah.
60-something% of the Liverpool first team squad have asthma and are allowed these pumps. And there's something that they do to the lungs that allow them to work more efficiently, perhaps.
Yeah.
So
that'll be the thing that Bradley Wiggins got in trouble for.
Yes, that's
or nearly got in trouble for.
So
yeah,
I don't know if that's true. But that's an aside. I don't mind Liverpool. I've got no axe to grind with them. I much prefer watching them play to any other team in the league. To be fair, and I didn't want them to win the quadruple though. That's a bit much.
Do you want? I was going to say so. They're in the Champions League final, and there's an outside chance they could win the league. I don't think they are going to win the league.
No, I don't. But I'm kind of I could not be more indifferent to Manchester City winning anything.
Yeah,
it's they're they've bought anything they've ever won, similar to Chelsea.
Like Chelsea, yeah.
I'm begrudgingly, and you know my feelings about Manchester United, and although they have spent historically an awful amount of money, it's been earned. They've generated it themselves. It's like it's not some oligarch or state-funded regime behind them. So I begrudgingly, and that's real begrudgingly, kind of like. But Liverpool, I think, is what they've done is ridiculous. But the high intensity and energy of their play, and they've played like 20 more games than us this season. Where are their injuries? Something is amiss in the medical department at Arsenal. I have heard rumours, all sorts, about the training pitches have a certain kind of synthetic surface, which aren't great for muscle wear and tear.
Yeah,
but there's something because three of our back four are out with muscle injuries.
Have we not been saying this for years?
Yes, yes, we have. Yes,
Wenger days,
Yeah, no, we have. It's true.
I still blame Scotland for playing Kieran Tierney. In all 180 minutes of two meaningless friendlies.
Yeah, that was completely
which
ridiculous.
Absolutely ruined us. Partey, slightly different story, important games played, but the Tierney one is just unforgivable. And why the club haven't made more. Well, I hope behind the scenes they really let Scotland know, because Scotland have shot themselves in the foot as well. They've got a qualifier against Ukraine, and he might not be available, and he's their second best player.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Arsenal will have communicated that their like dismay. That's because it is dismay. I mean, the player himself must think, well, it was unnecessary as well. I'm sure the player was. I'm pretty confident that looking back, he would have rather played one of those games and played the rest of the season. But it wasn't.
It's one of those things. Do you ever turn down your opportunity to play?
No, of course not. But he would have wanted the management, Scottish management, to have been more sensible. and not giving him the choice, said, no, look, you're playing one of these games, you're not playing the other, or you're playing 60 minutes in both or whatever, so he still gets his 2 caps. Right, so there's the thin squad, the medical department. I've heard people say bottled it, cowards, and that's been shot down pretty quickly to maybe lack of experience in certain scenarios, which I think is fair enough. And I think you alluded to this at the start. I still think they'll get a good send-off on Sunday. I'll certainly be supporting them on Sunday because if you in English lit with the AMs coming up, we're constantly telling the kids to zoom in
and zoom out,
and then zoom out, zoom in and then zoom out. Right, okay. So if we just zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Well, I'm really positive about where we're at and where we're going. There is a proviso. The caveat there is that we, spend some money in the summer and we get the like if we end up with Gabriel Jesus as our only striking signing, I'll be disappointed with that. I think that's an opportunity lost. I think, but I have heard we've signed this Marquinhos. I might be mispronouncing his name. For £3 million, 19-year-old from Sao Paulo, Brazilian winger stroke striker, quite a hot property, I believe. He was just refusing to sign a new contract with his club, and Edu's connections. Obviously, we've picked him up for £3 million, and the rumours about, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head now, the Scottish guy at Bologna. I've mentioned him before. The rumours are growing with him, and right, so we need numbers, so that's good. Obviously, we're going to lose more players in the summer. I mean, we'll do a podcast where we go through the squad and pick out who we think will go.
I'd really like to do that now. And we'll call it the Pepe epilogue.
Okay. Yes, he is probably, and in his defence, actually, I'm not. Yes,
Pepe
because
doesn't do defence.
Well, okay, fine. There's that. But
Boom.
He hasn't. Yeah, well done. He hasn't, like, he scored 16 goals last season. He just hasn't been given the opportunity. So
no, I'm not with it. I'm not.
I think he'll go, and that's fine. I don't mind that.
I think the nail in the coffin was tonight when he played that, lazy 10-yard ball cross field.
Yeah.
But the ball is not the problem. It's when he realizes it goes to the Newcastle player and they break, he doesn't break his neck to try and win it back. Just jogs. Doesn't.
But
really.
Okay, but I'm going to stick with my defense of Pepe. Why should he bother with the way he's been treated by Arteta? He knows that's his last. He's not going to benefit from Arsenal finishing in the top 4
because it's his job.
But that's not. I'm sorry. It's. I can't. I'd love to go into detail. If you've been hacked off by your SLT and your school, and you've been doing all these extra things because you've been committed to the job, and they've basically told you or devalued or dismissed any kind of significance to that at all, and you're thinking like, what the hell am I doing this for?
Yeah, but I would always keep in mind, I would see that scenario. I'm trying to sort of carry on the analogy that I would think of the fans as the kids at the school that you're serving, and I'd still do it for that reason. Yeah,
you would, because the kids personally, but Pepe doesn't know the fans personally. He's not an Arsenal fan. He's not. He wasn't brought up with Arsenal fans. He doesn't know. So if he feels he's been, look at Eddie Nketiah. I tell you what. I mean, okay, he had crumbs to feed on tonight. Tonight's performance has very little to do with him. But he had been given, when he sat down for that interview on that YouTube channel, and he said it's been the hardest season of his life. It kind of really opened up a window for me, because I hadn't even thought of how this season would be perceived by him. I didn't care. We just saw him saunter onto the pitch for 4 or 5 minutes at the end of a game and do nothing. And he was saying I can't. What can I possibly do? By this point, the team's not kitted out to my strengths. I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to get up to speed, the pace of a Premier League game in 10 minutes max, and the game's over. The fact that I'm on for the last 10 minutes implies that we're struggling anyway. And I thought, do you know what? You're right. But yet then when he knew he was going to get a run of games, well, we saw a completely different player. And the run, look at the goal he got against West Ham. Like, he's the only player in that squad that could get that goal when was it West Ham? No, Leeds, when he chased down the goalkeeper. And he's been harassing the centre backs, since he's got into the team. So I look, and again, I'll say, look, Pepe will be sold in the summer, and that's fine. I've got no issue with that at all. I've got a big issue with paying 72 or 76 million pound for him in the first place.
Well, we hope that those sorts of deals. And is there still an investigation going on about?
Well, there was an internal investigation, and everybody related to that deal has since left the club. Although those two things haven't been directly or publicly connected or linked, but that's actually what's happened. And we'll get about 20-25 million quid for him, I would imagine. I was reading about this other deal. Mavropanos, centre back, because we thought we'd be shy of. We've actually got a deal. We've got a deal in place, and they were going to buy him off us for 4 million quid.
Done.
And sell him straight away to West Ham for 17 million quid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Isn't it? I mean,
why don't we just sell him to West Ham for 60?
Because it was an obligation. It's like we're contractually, we have to sell him.
Do you know what? I don't think it improves West Ham that much.
He's had a great season. He's been brilliant.
It's Stuttgart.
Yeah, but they're crap. They were just avoided relegation. But like a Saliba as well. Saliba won Young Player of the Year in France.
Yeah, I want Saliba back.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but we want to raise the standard of our backups.
Yeah.
And I think having Mavropanos and Saliba and Gabriel and Why, I think that's and with Tommy Acid capable of playing there and Tierney as a back three and so on, that's pretty solid.
How old is Mavropanos?
I want to say 24, but I'm just plucking a number out of thin air. But I'll look him up. Yeah, so no, we will do the podcast. We'll do a podcast on. We'll go through the squad and we'll say like kind of sell or keep, or
we'll do post Everton, will we?
Yes, he's 24. I got it right. So I obviously knew what I was talking about. Of course.
Okay then. So what about the Everton game then?
Well,
I mean, the problem is it's just a case now of picking whoever's fit, isn't it?
Well, Tommy Asu won't be playing.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Mind you, we thought Gabriel wouldn't be playing tonight as well, but he did quite remarkably. I thought he was all right first half as well. I thought he was pretty solid. You said something interesting. We still have to win the game. We have to win the game just in case. Could you imagine the drive home on Sunday evening if Spurs have lost and we haven't won?
No, I can't imagine that.
No, I know you can't imagine that because you can't imagine Spurs losing to Norwich. I know you're heavily influenced by your place of where you live.
I live in Norfolk. I'm surrounded by Norwich fans. I'm married into a Norwich family. Tottenham are not beaten.
So Norwich. It's my famous or the famous fantasy league name I used to go by was Norfolk, and then Norfolk, and then the kind of little inverted commas N, and then Chance.
They do lend themselves to some interesting puns for fantasy football team names, because obviously they had Daniel Farke as the manager, which was always, could have a lot of fun with
that. Timu Puki is quite a creative name as well. I don't know. I'm out on Norwich players now. I don't know anyone after that. Max Aarons.
Tim Krul. Krul is another one.
Okay, yeah.
They've got Angus Gunn in goal as well. God, they're like the puntastic team. What will be interesting is, because I've done rubbish on fantasy football this year, the whole COVID cancellations in the run up to and around Christmas absolutely killed it for me. And then I just sort of gave up. But I always change my name. I always look at the start of the season at an Arsenal player that I'm quite excited about, and then I do a pun on their name. So this year it was Saka with Saka Potatoes. And then last year it was Willian, if you remember that. I had a one in a Willian team name. And so who knows who it will be this year.
That's like from this ridiculous to the sublime.
Willian. We had Willian, David Luiz. You know, the Brazilian connection was coming in, but that was an absolute farce.
But I don't know. That team feels like such a long time ago, but it was less than a year.
2 years.
And I think we're a much better outfit now.
Oh, undoubtedly. Because we've decided to stop giving over 30-year-olds who don't necessarily deserve it whacking great contracts unless they put in the bloody effort. You know, Aubameyang would be worth it if he was clearly applying himself. He wasn't, so he had to go.
I'm assuming he stopped scoring for Barcelona now because every goal was retweeted about 20 times on my Twitter feed, and I haven't heard of him anything from him.
It's amazing how much people recognise when it suits their worldview, doesn't it? That he scores. Well, that's why we should have kept him.
Yeah,
he misses. He doesn't score for 5 games, and they don't tweet about that. So.
Yeah, because he was poor, and his attitude stank the place out. So it was a gamble not getting the striker. I would have liked that Kulusevski bloke at Spurs. They only signed him on loan, and we were sniffing around him. Apparently, could have made the difference. You know, no obligation, on loan, and they're going to pay 40 million quid for him now because they want to keep him, or whatever amount of money it is. Because he's only 21. He's quite young, so he would have fit. Yeah, he's quite young. Yeah, he could have fit our profile as well. But again, I guess that's where Saka plays.
Where's he from? What club? I don't know where he's from.
I want to say no. The same. They came from the same team, didn't they?
Him and Bentancur.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Juventus.
Yeah.
Everton. Look, I wouldn't know what team to. I think we have to go gung ho and go for it, and the crowd will be. I'm assuming the crowd will be a little bit reserved at the start, but not. But that's just a disappointment. Or it could go the other way because there's a much younger crowd, and they might be more energized because they can buy into the project, if you like, or they understand that we're headed in the right direction. We've gone from 8th to 5th.
Yeah.
We're
back in Europe. The start of the season, the goal probably would have been to get back into Europe in some form or another.
Europa League.
Well, probably realistically, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because when you look at everyone knew Man City and Liverpool would probably be the top 2.
Chelsea as well.
Chelsea spent a lot of money on Lukaku.
Some people were predicting Manchester United winning the league.
And that's the thing. With all the money that United spent, that was everyone's top 4, I think.
Yes.
And so
nobody had. Most people didn't have us in the top 6. They had Leicester and Spurs. Leicester featured more often, and Aston Villa because of the amount of money they spent as well.
Well, I think I would have stuck with West Ham.
Yeah,
because they're solid. But I mean, really, then look when you think about it, that is a really naff season from Man United.
Yes.
Whoa.
They can finish 7th or 6th.
Yeah.
I think I want them to finish 7th.
That's the Europa Conference, right?
That's that one.
Good. Yeah, I'll be all right. I'm all over that.
Long journeys, far-flung places. Let them go to Baku for a change.
Yeah. Do you know where the final for the Europa League is next year?
No. Have you looked?
Budapest.
Okay, right. It's not Azerbaijan. So.
No. Might be worth booking flights now, just in case.
Where's the Champions League final?
Next year. I've got no idea.
Wow, so you haven't even looked.
Yeah, I'm not an idiot. And after Thursday, I was not doing that to myself. This is two men look up something on Google now, isn't it? But it's fine.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Champions League final. What date's it on? What date's it?
June the 10th, because everything's later.
Oh, it's very late, much later.
Because of the World Cup. Is that Turkey? The Ataturk Olympic Stadium.
So what, Istanbul?
I'm guessing so. Where is Ataturk?
I've never been to Turkey.
I'm not sure I'd want to be an English football fan in Turkey.
And I'm not. I'm guessing
I'm not in the Champions League.
Yeah,
So
I'm not going to get there with Arsenal this year.
No, maybe 2024. It was so bad today. So bad.
Close but no cigar.
Yeah.
And you've got to teach tomorrow. I don't teach on a Tuesday, so.
Well, I mean, I've got to teach some stuff tomorrow. You've got to remember, I'm not just in Norfolk. I'm in North Norfolk. So while there is a bit of football stuff, but it's not really. It's not a hotbed of, crazy, loony fans who are constantly thinking about it. Most kids, all they want to talk about is Messi and Ronaldo.
Not the case for me.
No.
Yeah, we have. My school is a 50-50 split Arsenal Spurs with a smattering of Chelsea and Liverpool and West Ham thrown in.
I'd love you to be able to do an attendance report tomorrow and see if there is a dip in attendance amongst Arsenal fans.
Well, funnily enough, my Year 7 class has one of the most vociferous Tottenham fans in it, and his attendance is almost 100%.
Right.
I had him last lesson today. He wasn't in. It was brilliant. Like the one time he had every right to lord it over me, and he wasn't
probably
in.
Still hungover from Thursday.
I have unfortunately got a Year 7 parents' evening on Wednesday, and I'm pretty sure he'll remind me, as his family will as well, remind me of things. Then I might claim technical difficulties and just not accept the.
I think you should own it. You should say, yeah, you've got a world-class strike force. Of course, you should be Champions League.
I'm much more likely to say, yeah, you paid off the referee. So,
right, here's an interesting thing. You know that Tavares foul throw? Would that always get picked up?
Well, for us, it seems to. We seem to be the only team that commit foul throws.
Yeah. I never see foul throws elsewhere. It's just...
But it's us.
But it's us. Yeah, I mean...
I
don't want to sound too conspiracy, but there's been some funny old decisions.
Yes.
But it's been a season of funny old decisions, it feels like. It feels like the VAR has not improved things one bit.
I read somewhere...
made it completely worse.
Yeah, I read somewhere that the referees, the PGMOL or whatever they're called, are deliberately misusing VAR to get rid of it.
That's surely BS. But
I mean, I'm pretty sure Mike Riley put that out secretively just to
It is rubbish.
justify some of those decisions. Yeah,
but it's rubbish for the
It's-
refs as well. I don't see how it
yes,
helps.
that's why they would do that,
because
it's. But it hasn't been rubbish in the World Cup or the Euros. It wasn't rubbish. It was. We didn't notice it.
well, so what are we doing?
So
Are we less
the
invested?
implementation of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is the implementation of it as well.
I still don't like it.
You know,
I'd still rather it was not there.
But like, yeah, I'm not. I can't. I don't know. I mean, that Leeds player wouldn't have been sent off if it wasn't there.
No,
you know, the refereeing is so poor in this country. It's so poor.
Yeah.
That I'd love to know. I mean, it's a bit subjective as well, but I'd love to know how it fares between. Like how many decisions has VAR corrected, improved? You know, because we've had lots of. I mean, so have other fans of other clubs, I'm sure. But like Tomiyasu's boot in the face against Everton. If you go back to why we're where we are now, Tomiyasu, you know, the two games that really cost us: Everton away and Palace at home. Both occasions, the opposition should have been down to 10 men in the first half.
I don't remember.
Tomiyasu gets a boot in the face from.
That was Everton.
That's Everton. And MacArthur booted Saka. Absolutely booted Saka in the air in the first half. It should have been and both went to VAR, and both times the decision was taken that there was nothing there. Like, what are they looking at?
Yeah, I know.
You know? It's an unhealthy business going down the conspiratorial.
Well, aside from that, I mean, to me, you know, the spectacle of it is annoying for me because we in the stadium have no idea what's going on. I don't see why, if it's a professional ref on the other end of the video, they just can't take the decision. Because if they're a qualified ref and they say, mate, that's a red card, just go with it. Don't waste another 5 minutes him having a look.
Yeah, like the lead sending off.
Yeah, exactly. Just ridiculous. And then there's the element of Martinelli's goal.
Oh, wasn't even offside. They couldn't prove it.
No, wasn't it the one where he?
Oh no, right, the one we didn't celebrate because we thought
I didn't celebrate a goal because I was waiting for the offside check, and it really annoyed me. It just made me feel all impotent and took away the joy of football.
The Martinelli offside one in a game that we drew, I can't remember who it was now, relatively recently, where they spent like 4 or 5 minutes working out an offside.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can't remember the game though. Was it Southampton?
Yeah. So and it was a draw. No, we lost. No, it was at home. We were there. It was at home. No, it was more recently than that.
Oh, I don't know then. Was it one of the 3 that we lost?
Yeah,
we lost
I think it was Brighton.
Brighton.
It was Brighton, yeah. And it was inconclusive. That's why they took so long. So I thought the benefit goes to the attacker.
Nope. They're looking for reasons not to give goals now, and that's
which is ridiculous.
Seems counterintuitive.
Or they're looking for reasons not to give goals to us. But there you go.
Get your tinfoil out again, yeah.
I know. Right. It's 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. 50 minutes. We've done well.
I think we've done. We've
been quite chipper, I think.
I think you have. I think you definitely have.
Tottenham on Friday, I wanted the world to swallow me up. I couldn't. I never watch these back because I've got no interest in listening to myself. All I'm on about absolutely nothing. But I imagine I looked just grumpy, just tired.
It has been reported back to me that it was a little bit flat.
No kidding.
Yeah, and quelle surprise indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this thing, no, you've been much more energized both good and bad.
Well, the commentators didn't annoy me too much today. There was no one particularly divisive. You know, Alan Smith's never going to really say anything that controversial, is he? Let's face it.
No. Well, you'd hope not. But Gary Neville still upset over.
Pleasingly, just before half term, my stepdad rang. So I spoke to him for a bit and missed the first 5 minutes of the second half. So I didn't hear anything from the halftime punditry, which was definitely a good thing. I did like Alan Smith's anecdote when Wilson knocked his tooth, and he talked about losing 3 teeth in a game playing for Leicester in the 80s, and then remembered that it was Steve Bold who knocked those teeth out. I thought that was brilliant.
You can see it as well.
Boldy's got that quiet assassin and
he was brilliant.
You know, Tony Adams was the wild man, you know, the one who was blood and thunder, but Bold was the one that you knew would actually kill you.
And he's the one you wouldn't see coming.
Yeah, exactly. The one that would really hurt you.
Yeah, he's the one you really want to watch out for. Because you don't know where he right.
I love that.
Right, okay. I'm going to end the broadcast on our penultimate game of the season, and it's good that we're feeling so. I don't
rational.
No, that was so disconsolate with the 5th place finish. That's good.
Yeah, I hope that is motivation for next year.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom.
Try again.
Yeah. So we'll catch up on Sunday. I shall be leaving the student behind.
Oh yes. Good luck with all that. Kicks off tomorrow, I believe.
No, she had RS today. RS this morning when the school was interrupted by a fire alarm for 50 minutes. So 50 minutes. It's because it was intermittent, so they had to wait to. It was activated by steam from the swimming pool.
Unbelievable.
Something like that. And so RS was a 3-hour exam instead of a 2-hour exam.
Well, they'll probably be a bit more relaxed because of that now, because they'll all have an anecdote and something to talk about. And
you say that, but it's biology in the morning, and then it's English language on Wednesday and history on Thursday, and something else I can't remember on Friday. So.
Maths is Thursday.
It started, so don't look back. Onto the next one. It's really funny being a parent as opposed to a teacher of a year 11 student. It's a very different perspective.
Yeah, I bet.
I had a knot in my stomach this morning as I was dropping her to school, but anyway, this is not what people are here for.
No. Up the Arsenal.
Up the Arsenal, yeah. I see you on Sunday.
See you Sunday.
All right, cheers. Bye.
Cheers.